Hey YouTube, welcome back to Dinner for One. Today I am going to make some homemade picadillo, to make some burritos of picadillo. Basically, what you're going to use is some diced potato, which I already have here ready to go. It was starting to fry, so I took it out because I want it soft. I don't really want it crispy. And then I'm getting my ground beef ready. I over anticipated the potatoes, so I have some extra here, and I have some that I'm making just like some French fries. But basically to this, I added on the potatoes some garlic salt, some onion salt. I'm sorry, garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of minced onion, and then I'm going to add the same a little bit to the ground beef as it gets closer to ready. Once it's all done, I'm going to combine the two together, and I'll show you that in just a few moments, so stay tuned. So I'm back. The meat's almost ready, but one of the things I want to share with you too is the name picadillo basically comes from the word picad, which means to dice up or chop up very finely. So that's the reason why I made my potatoes as small as I could without cutting a finger off. And for the ground beef, you know, when it's cooking, it tends to want to make little clumps if you don't separate it. So one of the things you have to do is constantly be separating it, because you want it to be as finely minced up and chopped up as possible, but yet completely cooked. I don't know about you all, but I personally do not like my ground beef red in any way, shape, or form. So I'm doing this repeatedly as it's cooking, just to make sure we get all of those pieces as small as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back. I've gone ahead and combined the potato pretty well with that. I'm adding in some tomato sauce, and then for spice, I'm going to be adding in some of this cantina style salsa verde. Okay, I know some people add in jalapeno. I don't happen to have any, but you can add that. Some people add in other vegetables, but for me, I just like your basic potato and meat, and of course the sauce to it. So let me go ahead and combine that, and I'll be right back. So I'm back, and there you have it. I combined everything. So we're ready to go now. It's just potato, ground beef. Like I said, I added in some onion salt powder, garlic powder, a little bit of minced onion just for added flavor. Tomato sauce, 1 can. Some water from that tomato sauce can. I just put a little bit of water in there, shook it, and put it in there. About half maybe of a can, and then I added in the salsa verde. Now I'm just going to let it simmer for a little bit, and it should be ready to make those burritos. I'll be back. Alright, so the picadillo is ready, and as you can see, it's nice and warm. You can let it sit there and simmer for a little bit with the lid on top, but remember, you're going to keep in a lot of that moisture. So now I've gone ahead and taken off the lid, and I'm just letting it still simmer under the residual heat by just letting it sit there so it'll dry out a little bit more. Basically, if you use the same idea, you can also make like a caldillo. The only difference, caldillo, you're going to want substantially more water, more moisture, because that should be more of a soup that you serve in a bowl. This is something you would serve just on a plate, maybe some Spanish rice on the side, and eat it with tortillas, or you could make into a burrito like I'm about to make. Okay, so stay tuned, I'll be right back. So there you have the meat in the tortilla. I'm going to go ahead and fold it up. So I don't have my tripod right now handy, but I'm going to go ahead and fold it, and I'll show you how I finish folding it. And one of the things I like to do lately is once I fold it this certain way that I'm going to show you, it's basically like the same way that Taco Bell does. I do go ahead and put it on the grill so it kind of seals up the burrito even better, and you get less spillage. Okay, so hold on, I'll be right back in about 30 seconds. So there's the way I folded it up. I'll try to show you next time on camera so you can see how I do it. But if done correctly, it should have a nice little flap, just like at Taco Bell. And then I go ahead and put it back on my griddle. Kind of push down a little bit just to kind of even everything out. And I'll let it sit there for a few moments. Once I see it's nice and browned on the other side, flip it over, do the same to this side, and take it off, and you're ready to eat. Somehow that does kind of seal the tortilla though, even though you're not really technically putting anything to seal it. At least I don't know if anybody else does. But it does seal the tortilla to itself, allowing you to enjoy the burrito, like I said, without as much spillage, and it's easier to handle. And this works with basically any type of burrito. The only trick here though is you are going to need to use, well, depending on the portion you're going to use of food in the burrito, you're going to need to use a larger tortilla if it's going to be more. I do recommend using those big, they're called burrito sized tortillas now that they sell. They come in packets of 8 or 10 at Walmart. And now if you use the regular size, then you're going to have to, of course, put less in the tortilla before you roll it. But even then, because it's a small tortilla, you might not get the same effect. These tend to be a little, I feel, thinner, but bigger. Much more wider, so you have more space to put down your food and then roll it up. Anyhow, let me flip it over and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so as you can see, it's nice and brown and grilled on this side. And in about a good 15-20 seconds more, I should be ready to take it off the heat and ready to enjoy. So I'll be right back. And so there you have it. I went ahead and got off the heat. I'll show you in just a second here that both sides are nice and browned. Ready to go. And that's it. Picadillo, burrito de picadillo. Or in Spanish, burrito de picadillo. Anyhow, I hope you guys like this recipe. I hope you give it a try. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And as always, dinner for one is served. Enjoy.